was, I guess, in bed almost for a week. I wasn't all the time in bed, but didn't feel like getting out and exercising. It was a flu or some nonsense, but it seems finally over. Man, I used to like getting the flu once a year because then it was an excuse to stay in bed for 2-3 days. I would never do that. But this takes longer. Maybe it's age. But I want to talk about how, there's, mainly what's going on local. There's so many local grants now that are popping up. Everybody's waiting for, the main ones from Washington, and they're having trouble getting that out because they're using local people. But then also there's local grants getting out. Now, I ran into an article today that really epitomizes this. It's out in Washington, the state of Washington. They have a new program. Well, actually, they got more money for a program they have for people to pay their mortgages. Okay, this is out the Washington County Community Development Agency. So this is the county government, and they got more money for a program they call Crisis Assistance Relief for Home Ownership Program. Okay, so how the hell are you going to go and put that in there? And so it's a whole bunch of money they get, and it's from 2020. This is a program they started in 2020 with the original CARES Act. That's what it was called. I think the first one that came out to help people. And this is the money they're still trying to spend. They got the state gave them more, $5 billion more, from the elected officials to spend for homeowners in the county. Okay, that's for your mortgage and all this other kind of stuff. And what's interesting too is for people with incomes up to $100,000. I mean, that's amazing to me. Everybody thinks, boy, if I'm making more than 40 or 50 grand, I probably can't get anything. That's nonsense. Particularly during the pandemic, and now even in normal programs, you can't assume that at all anymore. There's too much, inflation going on anyway. But when you read about this program that they have in the county, which is called Washington County Community Development, they talk about, there's another program in the community, in the city, and that is called, and that's the Biden program. The Biden program that's helped mortgage. So they have a whole bunch of money there, and it's from the same agency, and that is called Relief Home Ownership. Home Ownership Relief Program. That's one of them. I'm getting all confused here. But it's actually the Homeowner Assistance Program that the Biden people gave to everybody in every city, every county, every state has it. And they're having a little trouble getting rid of the money, but they still have it. And so now this county says, hey, you could apply for our program that we started a year ago, because we just got some more money for that program, because that money comes from HUD for the county development CDBG programs, community development block grants. That's what it is. Community development block grants that comes from HUD. They could use any way they want, and what they're doing with that is using it for homeowners with incomes up to $100,000. Now, the Biden grant through the Treasury Department does the same thing, but that pays for, I don't know how many, like 6 months of mortgage. The other one is 6 months or more mortgage too. So they're both doing the same thing. Both have money to solve the same problem. Crazy, but it comes from different agencies and different laws. That's why if you think you know how the government works, you don't. I don't. I've been studying this for I don't know how many years. That's why to be grant smart, you have to forget about what you think is normal, what you think you know, and what you think people are telling you is right. Because none of that can turn out to be true, and then you'll miss something very important. And that's the important thing, is that you find money for your problem. You don't care what the laws are. You don't care what people think or whatever. You just think about the money you need, and to solve that problem. And the only way you do that is talking to a lot of people. You just don't look at one or two websites and say, oh, this doesn't apply to me, so I guess there's not money for me. No, this is what this is. This video is not to tell you about this program. It's to tell you, because you probably don't live in the state of Washington, but it's to tell you this is how the system works. And I think the best way for me to try to explain to people how the system works is through examples of things that you and I would think is so goddamn stupid. Why the hell are you doing that? Well, that's a different fight. You want to fight that? Good, more power to you. But if you're broke and facing a lot of problems financially, you shouldn't care either. You know, the only thing you should care about is finding where the hell the money is. Yeah, and that's what I try to do, is try to educate you that this stuff is out there, but not in the places you think. People working in the government don't even know. I don't know if you saw the article. If you remember, there was a member that wrote in about how she was talking to a government agency on the phone, and the person said, yeah, we have no idea what they change it every day. Everything changes every day. We don't know what's going on. And that's why you have to get down to the ground floor as close as you can to find out yourself and see what the opportunities are for you. Because nobody's sitting there and saying, oh, I wonder what, you know, Louise in Omaha wants. You know, well, let's do something for Louise. No, they're not worried about Louise. They're worried about voting and making something happen, because they have to please not only Louise, but 15,000 other people who are in the pipeline somewhere that makes this happen. And that's how it happened. And that's why none of these things are logical or whatever, but they are valuable. And that's the important. And yours is not the reason why. Yours is just get the goddamn thing, you know? Who cares why they have it? Who cares how they do it? You're not going to change that. And even if you think you can, it won't be done in by the time you don't need money. So you know, it's just wasted energy to me. We only have so much energy to use, and how you use it, how you use your time is the most important thing you have. I mean, that's the biggest asset you have in time. Not your cars or crap you own. You could always replace that. You cannot replace your time, and it takes your time or whatever. You know, that's more valuable than a piece of junk you got. You know, and that's why if you're worrying about stuff that doesn't solve the current problem, if you're in financial trouble, you shouldn't be worrying about anything else right now. Now, sure, you have ethics and things like that are important, and how you do this, but it's just being polite, being kind, and being persistent. And you will get nothing if you're not persistent, because there's just too much going on out there, people's attention span and people's needs and everything. So if you're not the squeaky wheel, it probably won't happen to you. Sometimes it will, but to make sure it does, and if it's not happening now for you, well, then you have to up your game. Yeah. And that's what it means, is just being. So that's why at the local level, they have two programs local level. Probably the others don't know about them. Well, actually, this one may be, because they mention it in one article about one of them. So that's what. See, but then that's why it's always good to ask. So if you apply just online or something, and they say, oh no, you know, it says, oh, we're running out of money or something. But no, so you call that office anyway, because then you say, hey, where else can I find something? They're in a better position to know. They may not know everything, but they're still in a better position than anybody else you know to possibly know of another program. And it's all about possibilities. And if you have possibilities, then you're playing, you're in the game. If you don't have any more possibilities and place to turn, then game is over. Yeah. Yeah, and you don't want that to happen. You have to keep digging harder for more possibilities, talk to people to get other possibilities, and keep going. And that's what I see which is so gratifying to me about Let's Go Help, the members that share their stories and how they did it and what they did and how much of a pain in the ass it was, and things like that. Yeah. But see, normal salespeople that are trying to help you, they're not going to tell you that, I think, because it's hard for me to do it because I know I'm not encouraging sales, and that's silly because I have to eat myself first, and so it's not, but it does. I mean, now I just want people to learn the system because you could use it for the rest of your life. This is the situation we live in, right or wrong. I don't care. It's just that I see this as a place, sources of help to make your life better, and they're going to be there whether you use them or not. So it seems to me like you learn to drive a car to get around in our environment and survive and even grow. Well, it's the same thing with using government sources. The government represents like about 35% of everything in our society. It's not everything, you're right, but it's 35%. And every fat cat in this country I know, and I've helped many of them personally before I started helping just the average consumers, because they pay a fortune to learn this stuff. And you can learn it. If I learn it, I'm a schmuck from Wilkesboro who flunked English in college, and I figure this stuff out. I haven't really figured it out yet, but know that it's there and know, what kind of skills you need to find it. And that's what it is. Anybody can. You learn to drive, you learn how to use the computer eventually, and all this stuff. So you can learn this. It's not hard. There's easy parts and easy things too. But it's a skill set for the rest of your life. And it's going to be here, I know, as long as I live, probably a hell of a lot longer. So it's my mission until I'm over with here is to help people learn this, because it really can affect what you're doing, make your life easier if you learn how to do the system. I mean, for yourself or for your loved ones, you're a caregiver, whatever, you want to grow, you want to make the country better, how to get that education and training to do that. You want to help other people in the country with an idea you have. Well, how do you get the money and help to do something like that? You want to grow your own brain and be more valuable in society. Okay, well, how do you get the help and money to do that? These are all problems that our society provides help for. But those kinds of help that the society provides is not advertised on Google, so the average person doesn't find it. The average person just finds the stuff that people get money for you from. And all these programs I'm talking about, none of them take your money. And that's what I see Let's Go Help is. The only place on the internet, well, all the websites I show you give money. And every other website takes money, I mean, that's not true 100%, but nothing is. But that's the theory behind it. It's every website. That's why people want to put up things that, oh, this is a good deal. But if they're taking money from people, because if it's a good deal, they're just trying to get customers for a future and get more money from them. I don't want anything to do with that. I just want to show you websites that all they're in, their existence is just to give you money or give you help for a better life, and never will charge you anything. And I think we need something like that to help people realize that. And I think I'm the guy. Oh, my battery's not too happy. All right. Well, let me get on my way. Got to get back. I don't know how much this. I took a walk yesterday and it wasn't bad. I did about 6 miles or so, and still a little sniffles, but not bad. Able to walk and stuff. So I hope I'll be out more and talk to you. And by the way, don't forget the winners. See the winners of our $35,000 grant award for the December 4th award. Now we're also accepting applications for the January 4th award. So if you want to know more about that grant program we had, there's 60 people are going to get money, but we need, if you're go to Let's Go help.com or Let's Go help2.co if you have access there, and see the list of people to see if you're on it, and then send Magic Mary. Tell her how you want to be paid, if it's by a PayPal, if it's by Zelle, or if it's by, we'll send you a check, real old-fashioned Pony Express check. But 60 people, and we'll have 50 or 60 people next month too. It depends. We're doing it with any profit money we get for the month, and that's how we're doing it. We've been very fortunate to make the profits. We want to make sure our profit goes back to people who made that happen. Not, you're the reason why we make a profit, so you should be getting it. But we pay us first. I'm sorry. and then give the rest back to people like that. And it's the easiest application I've ever seen on the internet, because all you have to do is give us a few sentences on how you would spend $1,000. You know, if you tell us a little bit about yourself, I mean, that's helpful, and why that money would be important for you, for your family, for your friends. You can give the money to somebody else. You don't have to be a selfish bastard like me. You can give money to somebody in the neighborhood you know, a relative you know, that really could use that money, $1,000. We give $1,000 and $500. And so if somebody you know can use that, apply for them. Because there's not a nicer gift than something like that. Let me see if I could get my extra battery in here.
I love your whole outfit.
Oh, thank you, man. Maybe that's it. We're gonna do that. You hear that lady say, "Oh, I love your outfit." Yeah, that's what's great about dressing crazy. Strangers say nice things to you. I don't do that at home. So I gotta dress crazy and come out and have strangers treat me nice. That's great. And to me, it's all about living inside out. And that's what I feel in aging. When about 50 or so, I found that, boy, you gotta use your heart more in life, because nobody encourages you to use your heart. You always say, oh, you gotta use your brain. Well, that brain gets you in a lot of trouble. And your heart, less likely. Yeah. Somebody's beeping their horn at a policeman blocking traffic. Okay, guys, see you soon. Thank you for putting up with it.